Are we rolling? I think we're rolling. Okay, it's me. I'm coming. Just be patient here. Want to grab myself a cup of coffee here, pour myself a cup of coffee. I'm so excited. I have so many things to tell you. Yes, I'm on my way. Just want to grab a little bit of Java here, Like, here it is. See, here I am. I should be in bed right now, but this is the only time I have, some quiet time to give you a good picture of what I'm doing and all that kind of stuff. And I promised you this would be exciting, so I'm going to try to make it exciting for you. Hold on a moment here. Kerry Holtzman, that professional guy, he's got like this great PC building YouTube channel going. Guy is absolutely amazing. I'm telling you, you can learn all kinds of things from him. He's got my stamp of approval, endorsement, and everything. And you know what? He's kind of doing something along the lines of what I do. That's why I like him. The guy's a real trooper, fixing up old computers. And then you know what he does? He gives them to like vets, disabled people can't afford computers, stuff like that, just to, get them started off, right? And he makes it interesting. And you know what they did to that poor guy? Let me tell you what they did to that guy. I don't know why there's so many haters in the world, but they swatted him. And there he is, live. He's doing a live streaming thing, Man, I sure hope no SWAT team comes up, after me, just because, I'm trying to do my community a service, like him, I can't believe people in this world do stuff like that. But, yeah, it was really something to see, But anyway, Kerry Holtzman, he's a trooper. That guy, he's still going strong. Good for him, He's stateside, right? I'm here in Canada. I'm just like, and I spruced up a bit for you. See, I combed my hair back and trimmed my mustache a little bit because, the wife says, don't run around in your long johns because, it's disrespectful and stuff like that. So, I still think that if I have the right to answer the door in my long johns, and I got more coverage. But I don't want to give any offense to them spandex wearing ladies, that go shopping in spandex, stuff like that. I suppose it's their right? It's their body. They can do whatever they want with it. I don't know why. Anyway, I guess I should keep my comments to myself. But I'll tell you, there's a lot of ladies who are wearing spandex. Personally, myself, I don't think they should be wearing spandex. At least not in public. Okay, but anyway, I digress, but I'm a redneck kind of guy. And I'm also like, believe it or not, I'm an intellectual. Here, listen, I want to show you something that I picked up. It's for about $3, okay? It's called a power supply tester. You can pick this thing up at eBay for about $3. I'm telling you right now, okay? For the price of a chocolate bar, what have you got to lose? And you can even test your old IDE. You can test your power supplies with this. Your connections. Make sure your voltages are all together. It's got Molex. Listen. You got your 12 volts. I don't know if you can see this. 12 volts, 3 volts, 5 volts. See that right there? 12 volts, 3 volts, 5 volts. This will save you some hard drives. Okay. I had to learn the hard way about 10 years ago. And, I didn't know what was going on, but I didn't know a lot about PCs back then. But, this will save you some money, because after all, the old dumpster diving codger variety like myself, you never know. You should make sure your power supply is in working order when you decide to put a PC together. Now, from our last video here, I don't know if you remember this, but I cleaned this puppy up. It looked atrocious inside. It was all like, I think what happened is my daughter, one of my daughters anyway, had an accident with hot chocolate, and it all got poured inside the vent here somehow. It was all hot chocolate, black, thick. It was really gross. Anyway, I cleaned her all up. I soaked her in the bathtub, let her soak in hot water, and scrubbed her up with, regular bleach and water, a little bit of bleach and some detergent, and cleaned her up real good. You could still use a little bit of a touch up, but this is for the other build. Now, I wanted to show you this. Remember now, I'm not a professional. I'm not, you know, Kerry Holtzman, like that guy, he's a pro. But I'm here basically to show you that you can rescue old PCs and you can make them work just like new almost, you know, just like really good, you know, for your standard purposes, okay? I'm not saying you're going to go bleeding edge or anything here and, you know, break any records with your PC, but it's better to try to make your PC function as long as possible. And if you don't have a PC and you're not you're tight for cash, listen, you can get a PC for a song these days. You can build it yourself. You can upgrade it yourself. You can have fun doing it. Don't just chuck it out there in the garbage. Don't throw it in the dumpster. You know, I have rescued. I confess, I've rescued PCs from dumpsters, had them running just fine, working just fine. And you can do the same. All right, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to be, you know, you don't need any degree or anything to do this. This is something that you can do as a hobby, and it's very fulfilling, it's very rewarding, and you can do your environment a favor. Which reminds me, by the way, like I said, this is going to be exciting. Just today, I got in the mail from the federal government of Canada. Look at this. I got something here. I thought it was, you know, tax information or something that I needed. But I'm going to read this to you. This is really impressive. It's it's addressed to me. I'm Edward, by the way. And I've got a code here. They gave me a code. Subject: Connecting Families. Through the Government of Canada's Connecting Families initiative, participating internet service providers will offer low-cost internet to hundreds of thousands of Canadians. Now, isn't that nice of them? Okay, plus you are eligible for this initiative and could receive internet service at home for only $10 per month plus tax. Well, it's very kind of them, but I am paying my internet bill myself, and I'm quite happy with the service and the speed that I'm currently getting. But I still say this is a pretty good idea. Now I'll read on here. To find out how to qualify, please go to www.connectingfamilies-families.ca and use the code written on the top right corner of this letter. See, you have to have the code. I've got the code, but I'm not going to use it. Okay, I'm going to leave it for, you know, more qualifying, more deserving families than myself, because I'm doing quite well with my family here. As it stands, and I am, but still, you know, like, you got to give credit where credit's due, right? See, they're on track. They've got this game figured out. They go, if you don't have internet access at home, you can visit a local library that offers public internet access. Make sure to bring this letter with you because you will need the code to qualify. But my wife was curious about this, and she went online. And they can give you a free refurbished computer, guys. So if you're in Canada and you get one of these Connecting Families letters, right? Like one of these things here. If you get Connecting Families letter, I'm telling you right now, do it. Go for it. If you don't have a computer, hey, why not? Free computer. You know, it's, you know, probably some refurbished little thing, but get you started, get you rolling. It sure beats tossing the computer in the dumpster, doesn't it? You know, I mean, man, they're on track. I'm so happy to see that at least the government of Canada is hip to this. You know, it's like, it's one good thing. You know, you've got to give credit where credit's due. You've got to be able to at least, you know, like when you see something being done right, you know, acknowledge it. Because in this world, everybody's complaining and, you know, griping about all the things government's doing wrong and people are doing wrong, and, you know, but what about the good things? What about, you know, I'm just saying that when something is being done right, that should get some acknowledgement too. That should get some recognition too. And I was very impressed with the government of Canada doing that sort of thing, making it possible for, you know, underprivileged people to have a computer and to have internet at an affordable price. For little kids and stuff like that, need help with their school. There's a lot of children that have learning disabilities and things like that. This is great. This is, my girls, they use so many different learning programs, and there are some really good learning programs online, like Khan Academy. My girls love Khan Academy, but there's some other ones out there too. Okay, and I'm just saying that, there are some other children don't have access to those kinds of things at home. And, I kind of feel badly for them, because if they did, maybe they, get a little jump on things at school. But, listen, enough time spent on that. I just wanted to, acknowledge something. Now, I said I had 2 of these. There's the proof, kind of, got the front bezel all cleaned up for the other one. And I noticed that the date on this one said 2008 on it. Well, now I know that this particular device, I bought this from eBay. Okay, I didn't buy it directly from Dell. I bought it from eBay. This was the replacement one that I told you about, where the seller actually put the wrong power supply in the computer, and I burned out 2 hard drives before I knew it. Now, had I had one of these little gizmos right here that you see, I would have saved myself the trouble and my hard drives, and I would have had a problem, As it was, I had to actually replace the controller in one hard drive because my wife had some really important data on that hard drive, so I had to rescue it by replacing the controller on the hard drive. Can you believe it? And I didn't even know anything about computers hardly at all at that time, but I started learning, and I got her data back, And then I put the hard drive back, in the computer, and hard drive number 2 got burned out just like that. Poof! What is going on here, right? Well, had I had one of these. Anyway, so that's why I'm on about that. So, here's what I decided. Since I discovered the old case, I should go get that thing. I should show it to you. I got that all cleaned up real nice too. Just one moment here, put some music on, or, I'm not a professional photographer or anything, not by any means, but, I don't know, read an email or something. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I want to show you this. I'm so proud of myself here, Well, not really. I've done this. I have built hundreds of computers. Here, see, look at this. This here, all cleaned up and nice, and it almost looks like the one I'm using right now, or my daughter's using, okay? Got it all cleaned up, and I took off those gross sticky labels because I'm going to have a new, nice, new shiny label from disc bought directly from Dell that's been sitting around for a long time, with 32-bit operating system. I'm going to use it and transfer to. I'm going to have 2. One where some of the SATA ports are fried from that incident I told you about, and it'll still be good enough. It still runs some hard drives, programs, no blue screens. It's fine. I'm going to use it for whatever, but it still has some life in the old girl anyway. It'll just not be able to use 2 of the SATA ports on that motherboard. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the CPU out of this one to put in the other motherboard that I showed you, and I'm going to take the CPU that I found, and I'm going to put it in here, the other one that I had stashed away, the original CPU that I purchased, when I purchased my computer from Dell. Now, this is the computer that I purchased from Dell, and I'm pretty sure that it is. I don't know if it tells the date on here or not, but the reason I know that is because when I looked at the date inside, it said 2008, and I bought my computer in 2007. It was just when my second daughter was born. So 2007, you know, it's 12 years old. And that's what I'm saying. You can actually make these things work. You can make them work online. Yes, they're a little long in the tooth, just like yours truly here, but they will get you your email, and you'd be surprised when you put a good GPU in it. And so, you know, with no further ado here, I'm going to slide this stuff around, and I'm going to try to, you know, position the camera so that you can see what I'm doing, because that's the whole idea here. You know, I want to show you, I said, you know, I'm going to take you through these step-by-step processes so you can see how it can be done. Anybody can do this. All right? Okay. Moving this one along here, and you may have noticed I am not wearing long johns. I'm being respectful, like Mrs. King says I should be respectful, you know. But, you know, I wonder, you know, them ladies running around in the store, shopping centers wearing spandex, how respectful they are. But I can't answer my door in long johns because that'll make me a pervert. Good grief. Anyway, now I'm going to flip this down. Can't see it anymore, I know. But I'm going to show you what's in this thing. All right? I'm going to position the camera. First of all, I have to turn it. All right. All right. Now, move this here. Whoops. There we are. There we are. Now, can we move in here? Do a little bit of a zoom here. Because, well, we want you to see what's going on here, right? So, I don't know here. Just pull this down a bit, maybe. Shove this over like that. You know, I don't know if that's enough to really give you what you need. I don't know if my settings are right. I'm not a professional photographer, but what's in here? Okay, all right. First of all, it's in the box. It's 2 hard drives. Okay, I have an old titanium hard drive in here that it's all loosened, and I'll show that to you. And it's actually more for servers, these drives. See, Seagate, Constellation, but it's giving me some really weird smart error message, and there's nothing on the drive. I've tested it, I've checked the clusters on it, and I ran scans on it, and it's really not, I don't know why it's doing this, but you just click ignore and you're good to go. So anyway, I've got an old Sapphire graphics card in this computer, and I have this ICANN 450 watt power supply, which allows me to run a Sapphire graphics card in here without any problem whatsoever. Now, I don't know, let me check the camera again here. I'm just trying to make a little bit of clearance for work, and I don't know if I really need to take out anything, to be honest. But I do want to get the CPU, which is underneath this, out of this computer, so that I can put the CPU in another computer. So what I'm going to do that, you need a screwdriver, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just show you how to remove what they call the heatsink. This is the heatsink fan, this here, okay? And the heatsink is the metal part underneath it. It's probably really filthy dirty. They always get dirty. And you need a Phillips screwdriver, okay? Maybe a number 2, you know. You need a Phillips screwdriver, and you'll find that that's the most commonly used on just about everything. So, and yeah, it's good to do it in an order where you're putting equal pressure and undoing it that way too. You know, in the old like, you know, like every redneck knows, when you change a tire, you equalize the pressure on the nuts. Well, it's the same deal with this, you know. It's just like, you know, when you're changing a tire, you know, you want to crisscross fashion it, especially when you're installing it. Now this is nice and loose already. Alright, and down in here there's a little tiny clip. Now I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm almost half tempted to get the camera, reposition, and focus right down on here so that you can see it. And I think I'm going to do that if you'll put up with me. Rather than breaking the film down and putting it in different sections and that, I'm going to try to reposition the tripod, because I want you to see what's going on here, okay? Like, it's really important, because some of you have never done this, you know, but this is really, you know, 101 stuff. All right, here, moving the camera, pardon the disaster, you know, I'm trying to keep it focused on the subject material here. I'm going to shorten the legs on the tripod. There, the legs on the tripod are being shortened, because I really want you to see this. I want you to know, well, first of all, I want you to know how easy this is. This is, you know, once you get used to working with PCs, there we are. See, now we got a little bit of a more down, right into the business kind of. I don't know, it looks a little, I don't know, macro setting helps here. You know, like I'm not a professional photographer, right? I'm just trying to get it positioned. But I'm sure I could set this up better somehow, but there is a little switch down in here, not a switch, but a clip. Now this is, you know, all the extra stuff from the power supply, all this wiring. But I'm just trying to look to see where my hand is. No, you see it doesn't show. And I want you to see it. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that, but you'll see a little clip for the fan. That can be undone right by hand. Do you see that? That's what I just undid. It slides on. It's got these little guides here, so you know how to guide it over the tab to put it on correctly. You can't make a mistake because it only goes on one way because of these guides, you know. Some people call them keys, but it's a guide for the clip for the power for your fan for your CPU. Now we've already loosened the heatsink, so the CPU with the fan, I mean the heatsink with the CPU fan and the CPU heatsink should pop off quite easily here. All right, it's a little, you know, see, just wiggle it a little, just make sure it's connected someplace. All right, it should be relieved. Here, not really sure what the deal is. I haven't done this kind in a while, I have to admit. This is a little older deal, but and I'm not really sure what is holding it down, because it is very loose and it should just pop right off. There we are. As I lift on it gently. There we go. Now you notice it's very thin application of material on there, and that's good. That's what you want. You don't want it to have an overabundance of the cement or the thermal paste, as they call it. You want an even amount for good cooling. I've never had any complaints with this. It's always run very good that way with that much thermal paste on it, but I'll have to reapply thermal paste now because of course I've removed it, right? So we just set that aside, and I don't know if you can see this or not, but Yeah, there it is. There it is. Let's see. Now I almost have half a mind just to take this camera right off the tripod. I'm going to do that and show you. See, there it is, right there. That's the puppy. That's the thing you're looking for. That's your CPU. All right. Oh, there we got some clarity there. That's your CPU, and in this case, it's a dual-core CPU. All right. And I ordered this thing from Hong Kong because I wanted a little bit, faster, processing power. It's 2.67 gigahertz, and the other one is 2.44, I believe. So I'm going to see if the copper top, that's my 7-year-old, if she's going to even notice a difference when I swap out the CPUs, because I want to use this CPU in the other build, because the other build is going to be the one that I'm going to like max out. Because remember, this is the motherboard with the SATA cables here. Two of them are not SATA ports are not working due to the wrong power supply being included in the unit when I bought it. My goodness, when was that? 2011? Oh man, so many years. But this thing still works, and my 7-year-old loves using it, and she has a better build. I just built her a PC with HyperX memory, and you may have noticed from my t-shirt, I'm a HyperX fan. HyperX makes affordable memory. They're not paying me to say this, okay? I'm just, they make affordable memory that is very functional, and they do make a line for gamers, that is really good, and I think it's their Predator line or something, but she's got some nice 1600 megahertz gaming RAM there that in her build, and she still uses this Dell because she likes it. Because she plays her sport on it, and she plays the Sims on it, and she just loves it, So anyway, we're going to see if she notices a difference when I change the processor chip on this. I do tend to digress, don't I? But here's how you do that. You push down here, right, on this little lever, and you just kind of take it aside. Just take it a little bit to the side. See, so it can go up, right? See that? And that releases the bracket that holds it secure. And this flops back. I can see I got a little bit too much paste on the edge of that bracket there. I didn't notice that before. But you can see it was a very thin application. And that's what you want. Extremely thin application. There was a gamer. I was reading what he was also a PC builder. And he stated that from his experience, the thinner the layer, the better. What that thermal paste does is it is a medium between your cooler and the lid of your CPU, which is also a heatsink, by the way, so that it transfers the heat from the lid on your CPU to the heatsink with the fan on it. It's the medium of exchange, but it's there just to fill in the tiny microscopic pockets that you can't really see with the naked eye on the lid of the CPU, and to kind of adhere to the bottom of your cooler so that the heat transfer is even, and very conducive to cooling. So that's all that is, all right? It's they call it thermal paste. You can get all kinds, and so you do have to use it though. And now there's some really expensive stuff out there. Some people like to use liquid metal, but liquid metal also has its problems, guys. You know, but a standard thermal paste is pretty good, and for these purposes, you don't need anything super good. Now, I am using some Corsair DDR2 RAM in this, as you can see. You know, with the big fancy heat sinks on it. And yeah, she likes it. So I may be transferring that to the other build as well. But I just want to show you this. That's how easy it is to get to the CPU. Now you have to be very careful when handling a CPU. Okay, this can flip up very easily, but you don't want it to drop or fall because of this. You see these? These are the little contact points. Some call them pins. I wouldn't really call these pins. AMD has the pins. The pins are the sharp ones, okay? But they go on those pads down there, as you see in there. And yeah, you have to be very careful with that. It's good to keep that part covered if you can. And that's the one thing you must not do. You must not drop this. It's best not to handle it, get any finger residue on it or anything like that. They can't be contaminated, all right? So I'm just letting you know about that, okay? That's the most critical part of it. It's probably what makes people not want to bother. But if you're gentle, you can do it. It's not hard. It can be done. Now, I'm looking at some stuff in here, and I'm seeing something that, well, you know the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But there's one there where I see like a pressure point there that maybe there was some damage in there at some point. But I'm going to I'm going to eventually yeah, I'm going to leave this in here. I'm going to leave this alone and just put in the other processor chip. So that's it for now. I'm going to turn this off. But I did want to show you, because all I want to do is put in the other chip. I'm not going to swap out motherboards. I've changed my mind on this because it's still partly functional, and it's functional enough to actually serve as yet a secondary backup. So I have Dell Emergency Poop Box number 1 and Dell Emergency Poop Box number 2, and they will both, be there. In the event that any of the other computers break down, we have something else to use. And, or maybe if somebody is really in dire need of a PC, maybe I can help them out, right? That's the whole thing. You pay it forward, as they say. But, I'll be in a position to do that, right? See, and that's the great thing about resurrecting these old PCs, because it can be done. And I can't wait to when I show you, after it's done, what it does. How you can play games on it. How you can answer emails on it. How it's still functional. It's not, don't throw it away. If it still does the work, it still does the job. Don't throw it away. This old girl's got plenty of life in her yet. You'll see. Anyway, thanks again for listening to me and watching my crazy, very unprofessional redneck video. And God bless you. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening.